I've been meaning to make a video about the inexpensive threads. I have mentioned them a few times in different videos, that I bought two inexpensive thread sets for about $15 a piece, and with each one you get 32 spools like this and 32 bobbins. So here are the two sets. Now, I want to update you because these threads are kind of a pain. And I thought I had wasted my money, and I was going to be saying that in this video. But it's really just that they're cheap thread. Now, here are the issues if you buy them. And there are all different sets of usually 64 total thread colors, 32 on spool and 32 on usually class 15 bobbins. They don't wind the bobbins very tightly. So even I've tried these threads in all my machines, and even the Handy Stitch, which is a handheld stitcher, battery operated, these threads jammed up simply because they wind the bobbin too loosely. In the Brother, these are class 15 bobbins that would fit in my Brother. In the Brother, I had both the top thread and the bottom thread because the Brother is a modern machine made in China, and I figured, well, that's what these threads are. If they're going to match anything, they'll match the Brother. And even with that, straight stitching is fine. When I did zigzag with these threads on the Brother, the thread kept breaking, and the bobbin, because it's not wound tightly enough, would jump around in the bobbin case, and the Brother hates that. So there are issues with cheap threads, but I thought they were all going to be handheld stitcher threads or hand sewing threads, but now they work fine in the Spartan. So they work fine in the Spartan that doesn't have zigzag and that just zips right along. It would be the same in the 237s, the 1591. What these threads are made for is motorized straight stitching. Now, the other thing I want to mention, you see these thread spools and they say they give you 64 colors. Class 15 bobbins hold a lot of thread. These, each spool only has about half a bobbin of thread on it. So, buyer beware, which I was before. The advantage for me, and why this is all still here, is these thread spools, and you would have to check the size of what you buy. These actually fit my vintage Dexter handheld stitcher. And in fact, the Dexter handheld stitcher is the one handheld machine that had no problem with these threads whatsoever. It uses a bigger, longer needle, and it makes a looser stitch. So, those are just some tips on these threads. Will I buy them again? Yes. But now I will buy them thinking, okay, they're not good for embroidery because they fray and jam, but they are good for fast, straight stitching. So I am now making, it's been very difficult to make these. I'm making kids' face masks for the town. And it's just very upsetting that today and yesterday I'm making masks for 3 to 5-year-olds because COVID has not gone away, and the town, there are very few people, if you can believe it, in my town that sew. And I'm sitting here making little rabbit and pink face masks for 3 to 5-year-old little girls to wear a face mask. It's upsetting. But now that I have a new foot pedal on the Spartan, I can use these threads up for all the face masks. And then, if I want to still buy, like Coats XP, which I think is the best thread made right now, I can then use these empty spools to hand wind XP on them and use them in any of the machines, knowing that I'm using a thread I can count on. So it's a little bit risky to buy the inexpensive threads, but I think at the very least, like the town gave me fabric and elastic and a couple of spools of thread, but not enough thread to make all the masks they need. So now I can use these up. But keep in mind, you only get half a bobbin of thread on each spool. So patchwork or piecework, these would be perfect for. The Model 20 isn't going to like them. So the Spartan, or a 99 with a motor on it, or a 1591, or I might even take that motor off the Spartan and put it on my 1588, which would make my 1590. But I could use those in this. The bobbins themselves are not a problem. It's that they're wound too loosely. So those are just a few tips I have found out about buying and then using the inexpensive thread sets that you see on eBay for anywhere from $10 to $15 for 64 colors.